What's up? You're in the Beat Sessions. I'm your host, Mitchell Weary. We're looking at the brand new record from Zoo entitled Dreamland 2021, which he released on April 30th. This is the third studio record from Zoo, and if you're not familiar with him, you should definitely check this guy out. My friend Sam showed me him about 6 months ago, and I've just been floored with pretty much everything that I've listened to. Shout out to her down in Florida, by the way. And there's a number of things about his background and just stylistically that I dig when it comes to electronic music. We're going to get into some of that. His background, studied music in college, and more importantly, was a part of a number of jazz bands and orchestras as a kid. So definitely is a multi-instrumentalist. And that experience in playing in those types of arrangements with so many other different people definitely helps out when it comes time for production. And you can just hear it in his music, the way he puts songs together. I mean, the levels on everything, nothing's overproduced or feels like it's lagging. The way the instrumentation comes in is just, it's everything on this record that he does is just so nuanced and so lovely. And it just warrants so many listens, which I really dig about what he does. His style, lots of deep house that I feel throughout it, and I definitely think that that comes from his background with those orchestras. You get definitely this funky, groovy element in a lot of his stuff. So I really like that. But then, you know, he can bring the bangers, really bring some hard bass in some songs. The lead track, Lost It, certainly has that heavy bass to it, but you'll get that nuance when you hear that song. It's never too much. It never becomes like obnoxious or tiresome or, you know, gives you a headache, which is the complaint that I hear a lot of people have about electronic music. It's really nicely done. Distant Lights, really cool track, funk opener, but then it moves into this chill ambient kind of groove. And this whole record, 12 songs, 45 minutes, you know, one of the, talking about things that I like about Zoo, he does put out singles, but he makes albums as well. I like that he dabbles in both, and this definitely has the feel of a full record experience. You're going to want to listen to this thing from start to finish. Blue Dream, great track. I really like How Does It Feel, starting to get into some of these solid guest appearances. Chanel Trace is featured on that song. How Does It Feel, funky, deep house, really liking the groovy factor of that track. You'll probably hear that in clubs this summer, as well as Sky is Crying, that features Yuna. Really, probably the standout track on the album that I dug anyway. Sweet Like Honey, ballad style, Zoo showing off a little bit of his skills on the piano, and that change again. There's you know, you talk about bringing the bangers in the first song. He can really slow things down and give things a nice R&B element as well. And you know, and I dig that while all of this still has, you know, just a good electronic feel, a good nice ambient vibe to it that is it's just something that's really easy to get lost in. One of the things I love about him. Good For You. Speaking of that you know, R&B vibe, super chill. Feels like it really highlights his voice, and that's another thing that I don't hear a lot of people talk about as far as Zoo and his talent. I think he's got a killer voice, man. Really fits in with his style of music superbly, and I need that chill opener. Closes kind of incorporates a little bit of Nintendo core at the end, so Zoo showing off the number of influences that have influenced him and that he likes to play around with in his music. I'm going to give this a vinyl please for sure. This is an album that I can see a lot of people remixing these songs. It's one of the things that I really dig about new electronic music, and it's a trend that I kind of see as far as older bands. I'll just look at Daft Punk as a really good example. You get tracks that are a little extended, and that's for DJs like us, especially if you're spinning wax. Gives you a little bit more meat on the front and the back end of a song to play around with and to mix with. And with technology and the way songs are put together now, I just feel like it's super easy for artists to, you know, play around with songs the way they do and incorporate all these different elements and do these twists and turns that a lot of these songs take and that make them a lot of fun to listen to. So I hope you enjoy listening to Zoo. Check this cat out. He is solid. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and we will see you next time on the Beat Sessions.